Hello and welcome to Goblins and Aliens. I'm sure you, like myself, are guilty of having perfectly good models that get primed and never get painted. You feel nervous or anxious that you're not good enough to paint these guys. So you start off with the infantry, but you never make up to this guy. The truth is you are good enough. So today I'm going to bite the bullet and paint this winged Tyranid prime. One of my new favourite ways to start any painting project is to hit the model with a dry brush of the base colour. Knowing that a large portion of this will be painted over lets you start without worrying too much about the finer details. It also gives you a quick glimpse of how the colours are going to work together. For the carapace and the armour plates, I gradually build up from a dark grey to a lighter grey. Using a mixture of dark blues and dark grey, I coat the rest of the model in preparation for the brighter colour transition. Adding brighter blues to the mix and glazing between the tones masks the layers. The red portions get the same treatment, from a dark red to a brighter red. Try my best not to get any overspill on the blue. With a lighter combination of blue, glaze into the pale section and glaze back over with the previous blend. This will boost the contrast between the two hues. Using the groundwork of the original dry brush stage, I follow the direction the sculpture offers. This can also be gained by zenithally priming the miniature. It's important to use the information the model gives you. This is as simple as glazing into the shadows and strengthening the highlights. You can also add some edge highlights to frame these sections to give a sense of accomplishment as you progress. The large claws are a perfect opportunity to see the glazing transition in action. Start a little over halfway up the claw with a thin red glaze and pull the paint to the end and let it dry. Repeat the glazing direction, only this time starting 10% inwards. Repeat until the point of the claw is fully opaque. Smoothing backwards with the original colour in a similar fashion will give you a satisfying result. The face of any model is what the human eye is naturally drawn to. With this in mind, it is worth paying attention to increasing the highlights and taking care in doing the eyes and the mouth. Just remind yourself to allow each layer to dry and that it is only paint and any mistakes can be painted over. After fixing a few overspills and painting the claws, it's time to give the wings a bit of visual interest. In my last video, I explored a new effect. It was simply adding layers of tiny stripes building from the dark to the light, over and over again. This gives an interesting texture, and paired with the glazing, it has many practical uses for future projects. I do like adding new techniques to my skill inventory. After applying the stripes, I used 3 different paints thinned down past my usual glazing consistency to colour the pattern and add visual variation to the wings. I quickly assembled the base using bits of wine cork and rubble, held together with super glue and baking soda. This turns rock solid and leaves a grit-like texture. Topped off with some skulls and some graft tufts, and the model is complete. And that's the winged Tyranid Prime painted. I'm particularly proud of this model. I did face a bit of anxiety in starting this model. Some call it painter's block, but anxiety is overthinking. It's thinking how the negative is going to impact. So I left it. I decided to paint the infantry first. I didn't even complete them. But biting the bullet and going for this one has really made me proud. I'm particularly happy with the way that the wings came out, that gradient between red and purple. I love the almost non-metallic on the faceplate and the horns, and I reached out to my friend Mike at Negative Gradient for some tips on the base and followed that. I really like that. So all in all, this has been a fantastic experience, and I encourage you to pick up your paintbrush and go for it. Until the next video, thank you, take care.